Another game, Scotty Fox starts. Another game, the Mountaineers win. You need to buy stock in this true freshman quarterback and do it now. We're going to talk about it today on Between the Ears. Good Sunday morning, everybody. Schuyler Callihan here with another episode of Between the Ears. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button here on our YouTube page at West Virginia on SI, where we have episodes dropping every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday throughout the football season. We have the Walk Thru GameDay Show every Thursday of game weeks, so obviously no walkthrough next week after in the bye week, but we will have one this week for Arizona State, and of course the Mountaineer Postgame, which we'll also have for basketball. So make sure to stop by later in the day today, and we'll recap West Virginia and Lehigh. So West Virginia 29, Colorado 22. Wasn't a great day for Scotty Fox, but it wasn't all that bad when you really go back and look through all that he did. 17 of 28, 202 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. And the 2 interceptions, as I mentioned yesterday, probably freshman mistakes and something that you could probably eliminate, but those things are going to happen. And I know some people were commenting on the post game last night saying it wasn't a freshman mistake. No, they were. Okay, the fourth down one, whether you tuck the ball and run or you decide to throw the ball, you cannot throw the ball across your body late back into the middle of the field. That's going to get picked off probably 7 or 8 times out of 10. The other 2 or 3 times probably going to get knocked down. Very, very low percentage throw. If you're going to throw it, you probably throw it deeper downfield. I can't remember who the player was already. It may have been Cam. Not exactly sure. But there was somebody that was running deep down the field. If I'm taking a shot, take it there, because that's where you're probably going to have a better chance of it happening rather than across your body back to the middle of the field. And it's something you can learn from. Rich Rod was visibly upset after he did that, so clearly it was a mistake. And the second one, it's kind of on him, kind of on Chemo, but at the same time, like, all right, look. Chemo gets knocked back. He gets beat on a one-on-one situation. Scotty has pressure in his face. So that's on Chemo for allowing that to happen. The defender gets a fingertip on it, so it's deflected. The ball's going to fall short naturally because of that. But even if you look at where the ball was going, Cam's running down the sideline, and that ball's not going in a good spot anyways. Even if that ball doesn't get tipped, which Jed talked about in the gun last night, that's probably not going to end well, even if it didn't get tipped. So both those decisions, not great, but you still found a way to bounce back and win the game. And for Scotty, after that second interception, this is the part that gets me really intrigued. He goes 5 for 8 for 32 yards. And I know a lot of you are thinking, oh my goodness, 32 yards. It's insane. But he did what he needed to do to close out that game, not turn the ball over again, not put the ball in harm's way even, and just managed the game nicely down the stretch. Ran the ball a little bit, threw it a little bit, found ways to move the sticks and win the game. And for me, that's a sign of growth. That's a sign that, hey, this kid is not allowing these 2 interceptions to rattle him, to bait him into throwing a third, or to have him hesitating or second guessing what he's going to do. He still had conviction in his decisions. I remember the first 2 that he threw after that. I think one was a hitch, and I think maybe another one was either a swing pass or a slant. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but both throws, I mean, he just zipped it out there. Did not second guess. There was zero hesitation. Had conviction in his throw. Made the throw, and you move on. And to me, even though it wasn't his best game, it's the game where I'm like, okay, you might have something here for sure, because when you're a young quarterback and your confidence is maybe fractured or could be fractured by a couple of turnovers, especially when you have them like he did, where it was back to back, It's very easy for a guy to kind of go into a shell a little bit and allow that to affect him the rest of the game, and it didn't. So it's a huge step forward, and more importantly, this team is now 2-1 with Scotty Fox as a starting quarterback. And as I promised, after his first start against TCU when he threw for 300 some yards, I'm not going to jump the gun and start saying that he is the guy and all this other stuff. I'm letting that play out. We're just going to get these next two games in the books, and then we can assess the entire situation. If he goes and throws 6 interceptions in the next 2 weeks, everyone's going to feel a lot differently about it, right? I mean, you'd be kidding yourself if not. Doesn't mean you still can't have hope and optimism that he's going to be the guy, but you're going to have some concerns. So let's see how these next 2 weeks play out before we start talking about what can happen in 26 and beyond. But if I'm if there's this stock exchange out there where you can buy stock on Scotty Fox, which technically there is if you read our stock up, stock down article every single week after the game, immediately after the game, um, I'd be buying some Scotty Fox stock because, and especially after a performance like this, if you put this out on the market, 2 interception game might bring your stock down a little bit, but not for me. I mean, again, he showed that he can bounce back from those interceptions and still win you a game. But 2-1 as the starter, and you look at the supporting cast that he has, it's not much. The offensive line didn't help him again. The offensive line didn't help in the run game. There was no run game against what was the 132nd ranked run defense in the country. So to do this with virtually not much of a run game, you have a little hint of it. You were able to do some there in the fourth quarter, but you didn't do it in the first three. Houston, it was the first quarter and a little bit there in the fourth quarter, but not much in between. In TCU, there was no running game at all. So we're talking about 3 games now where West Virginia really hasn't gotten that run game greased up. I mean, they've had some moments, but it wasn't like they've been able to put it together for 4 quarters or even more than 2 quarters. So he's doing this with virtually no run game, shoddy pass protection, receivers that have not helped him out a ton, and yet they've won 2 of the 3 games. Buy your stock in Scotty Fox now. Now, again, does that mean he's going to be the guy and be an all-league player in 26? I don't know. But I like my chances of him becoming a dude for the Mountaineers at some point, whether that's next year, 27, at 20, who knows. But what he has shown in these first 3 games is remarkable. Go back to where he was just earlier in the season against Pitt. You want to talk about freshman mistakes. I mean, we can maybe pick apart these ones against Colorado because, in my opinion, again, I'm not throwing the ball over the middle of the field across my body on 4th down. I'm taking the shot deeper down the field or trying to run it and plow through somebody. And the second one, again, I'd probably see that pressure in my face, pull it down. I understand he wants to make a play, but that ball's not going in a good spot, even if it doesn't get deflected. We can debate those, but the ones against Pitt, just flat out freshman mistakes. You stare down a receiver, it gets picked. The second one, you're getting sacked, just take the sack, sit down, live to see another day. And instead, he tries to throw the ball as he's getting sacked, and it's intercepted. From where he was then to where he is now is a massive improvement in terms of just knowing the game, knowing the situation. Again, the 4th down situation, but knowing where to go with the ball, knowing when to just live with with what happens on that given play. And that's why I'm all about Scotty Fox, because he just looks so much more comfortable even when he shouldn't. Again, that offensive line, my goodness. Sometimes just free hitters coming through. And he's got pressure in his lap the second he gets the snap. I mean, for most young quarterbacks, that's problematic. And, even during the bad snap yesterday, that could have been terrible. I mean, he didn't panic at all. Ball goes over his head. Maybe could have caught it, but still, partial blame there maybe, but ran back, fell on it. He didn't try and pick it up and run with it and try to make something happen. He knows, hey, in that situation, the ball is priority. You just fall on the damn thing and see what happens from there. You don't need to try and mess around, screw around, try to pick the ball up and you boot it and all of a sudden, or you overshoot trying to pick it up and all of a sudden it's Colorado football inside your own territory. That's the stuff that makes me believe that he is starting to get this thing and that he's going to be a really good quarterback. I know, by the way, he can throw the ball, right? I mean, it's a thing of beauty to see Scotty Fox really unleash that thing. That 69-yard wheel route to Dior Hubbard. He knew he had Dior on the linebacker one-on-one on the outside and just dropped it in a bucket. I mean, you see those throws at least 2 or 3 times a game in this three-game stretch where you're just like, man, that's not a true freshman throwing. Like that's just not. And I guess that's why Rich calls it the next, he can make those next level throws. He can. So I'll tell you what, guys, I don't know what Scotty Fox is going to do against Arizona State. I don't know what he's going to do against Texas Tech, but I can tell you this. That kid is going to be something special if he continues at the pace he's on. And I'm not just throwing that word special around for no reason. I try to keep that tucked away and only used for certain purposes because I think we overuse those terms, the special, he's a star, and an absolute stud, or whatever term that you want to throw out there. We overuse those terms. But in this particular case, I don't think there's that's an impossibility. For him, it can absolutely happen. Absolutely. So we'll see what happens these next 2 weeks, and then we'll assess the situation. Okay? Well, let's just pump the brakes. We've got some football to play and some pretty good opponents, especially that one at the end of the year with one of the best defenses in the country. How does he handle that? That'll tell us a lot about where he is and where he's going. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode here Between the Ears. Again, you can catch us later today on the Mountaineer Postgame Show, breaking down what happened between West Virginia and Lehigh on the hardwood. And then after that, we will be back on Tuesday with another episode of BT. So thank you guys so much for tuning in here this morning. We'll see you back here in a few hours. Take care.